the attack for the light attack. Cool, great. Now from out of that to freeze instead of immobilized. Just be careful if you are. He's gonna pluck monkeys because if they immobilized by this person, he'll snap. Out of it, and these are my skill points. That's for my staff spin and martial arts for the complete combo attacks with the heavy. Then there's the smash dance required for phase 1. And I've only upgraded my clouds. That's for my staff spin and martial arts for the complete combo attacks with the heavy slam. There's the smash dance required for phase 1. And I've only upgraded my cloud step, and I've only just put some towards the red tides, just to give them a fighting chance. Anyway, hope this helps. Really hope to see you all next time. I'm going to show you how to beat the Great Seed set in Chapter 6. Each compulsory boss with a each armor piece, and that does a lot of damage. And just back right away, he'll throw his spear at you. And once you've done that, just head right back in and do the same thing and let go for massive damage. And we're just going to repeat that second. speed start. You're up to your focus points. There's 3 focus points. Exact same thing. Whole stick.
জলের মধ্যে খেয়ে নিচ্ছ গ্রেট সেজ সেমই তোমার মতো বিশাল টাফকে হারানো কাল তো কমাতেই পারছিলাম না হেড দারুণ কাটসিন একটা কাটসিন তো দেখোনি আগে ফাইভ কাটসিন দেখেছিস রেলিক গুলো নিয়ে নেবে তো দারুণ দিয়ে কার সে হ্যাঁ লাগতে দেখতে আমরা বাবার থেকে নিয়ে নিচ্ছি দেবো আরে এটা জিতের 95 আসতে পারে 91 আগে তো পৌঁছে গেছি বাকিগুলোকে মেরে আমি তো কায়দা করে তো মেরেছি যে টাইপগুলো আছে সব 95 এগুলো দাঁড়ায় স্পেলটা চেঞ্জ করি, স্পেলটাও গন্ডগোল আছে, ভাঙ্কিটা হয়ে লাভ নেই কোনো। রেড টাইট স্পেল প্রথম থেকে তো দেখিস নি ফাইটটা, প্রচন্ড ডিফিকাল্ট ফাইট, বুঝতে পারবি কেন ডিফিকাল্ট। চেষ্টা যেহেতু আমি ফুল ফর্মে আছি, দেখি এরপরে ওইটা হয়ে যাবে। কি করলাম আরে ক্লাউড স্টেপের মধ্যে উড়িয়ে দিল।
বাজারে যাচ্ছে কম করবে জল আসছে দেয়ালায় দোকানে গিয়ে নিয়ে আসতে
এটা তো ফার্স্ট পেজ, প্রথম পেজটা তো বসের। প্রথম পেজটাতে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে না, শেষের পেজটায় দেখি আমার একটা কম আছে, ধীরে 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 বাড়ি আসতে হবে।
আবার প্রথম থেকে কি
না না, ওখান থেকে ওখান থেকে মারতে হবে। বাহ, চল্লিশ। আবার পিছনে যে ছোটগুলো মারবো, পাওয়ার বাড়াতে
কতগুলো তো কাল মারনি সব আস্তে
আবার বুঝতে পারে।
আস্তে তো উন্নত হয়ে গেছে গাড়িটা কি ছিল গাড়িটা ছেড়ে দিয়ে একদম কন্ডিশনারটা
পেজটাই হচ্ছে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে। পরে আর ওপেনিং পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না। প্রথমটা তারপরে রাউন্ডটায় কিছুটা মারলাম, তারপরে আর কোনো ওপেনিং নেই তোমার আর। বুঝতে?
আচ্ছা। এই বাদ দিয়ে মানুষ
Porthos.
এটা সেকেন্ড ফেজের শুরুটাও পারবো, ফাইটটা নামা যাচ্ছে, পরেরটা ফাইটটা নেওয়া যাচ্ছে। এই লাস্ট একটু তো বেঁচে যাবে এই যে।
Did you know there's another secret boss in Chapter 3 of Black Pepper? You want to do this to help secure the good ending of the game. Start at the bitter lake anchor shrine and enter the next. Follow the player's wheel. Beat the enemies around the treasure hunter and exhaust his dialogue. Head to the towers of Karma Keeper's shrine. Equip the Ring of Fire spell and find the treasure hunter. Cast a spell to return to the forest of Felicity Shrine. Explore gates to defeat the enemy game. Start at the Bitter Lake Keeper Shrine. So if you got to chapter 3 and you got the turtle after a certain boss fight, make sure to follow this path with the companion still there and not go the other way, because there is a certain boss called Necromana Path which will not spawn if the companion is not there. So that's it. First go there and then go and
আমি বাকি সিক্রেট বসগুলোতে দেখছি Where is Peter live to first time? হ্যাঁ
So with Black Myth Wukong, we are back with another secret. This time we have Italy, and we're going to be on the north. Then eventually
যতক্ষণ পারবে চালিয়ে দাও। হ্যাঁ এখানে একটা বিশাল পাখি আছে। এটা তো মেইন জায়গা থেকে জাস্ট পার করে চলে গেছে, দেখ জলে একটা কেউ আছে, দেখ ওকে মারিনি আমরা, দেখ ও কিন্তু বস একটা ছোট বস, এই দেখ ওকে মারা হয়নি। ছেলে এই তুই জানিস আমি কে? এই তো দাঁড়া,
I might as well die. No chance at immortality. And forced to suffer your torment. This old log can hardly move a muscle as he is. Only one of Wukong's resurrection will save me now.
কি হলো?
Why are you still here? This old log.
কি লিখতে দাঁড়াচ্ছা পেয়েছি, এটা দিয়ে এটা যাচ্ছি। একটা কোড দিয়েছি ও বাড়িতে, ট্রেজার হান্টার কোয়েস্ট আছে একটা, ওই কোয়েস্টটা কমপ্লিট করি আমার মতো। ওটাই ভয়েস আমার ইসেতে রেকর্ডিং এ আসে। তাই গেছে ওই
Wait, you won't eat me, will you? I was on a treasure hunt, but I ended up being the hunted. I owe you my life, sir. I'll share the treasure with you once I find it.
ঠিক আছে।
returning to the shrine, we need to go to the Valley of Ecstasy now. So still in the New West, Valley of Ecstasy. We need to go.
ভ্যালি অফ এক্সপ্রেসি নেইনি মনে হয়, এই পেজটা কমপ্লিটই করিনি কি কাণ্ড।
So from the Office of Felicity, we quickly go into the shrine, travel to the New West, Valley of
কে রে?
You're looking for the temple. Just follow.
here, you are going to see the treasure hunter again. Now, if the treasure hunter is not the first place that we went to, then the treasure hunter should start here. So basically, complains about it being cold. We're going to use the ring of fire, which is going to trigger a little cutscene. So if we wait until that's been said, then so now he's sat in the ring of fire. See, so again, the new west. So now he's sat in the ring of fire. We can go up and talk to him again about it being cold. We're going to use the ring of fire, which is going to trigger a little cutscene. So if we wait until that's been said, then we're going to see the treasure hunter again. Now around the Warding Temple, there's a boss at the top of the stairs in that temple. So with the ring of fire, what we're going to do is we are going to turn around, and just along here, you are going to see the treasure hunter again. Now, if the treasure hunter is not in the first place that we went to, then the treasure hunter should start here.
অগ্নি করে না
So basically, complains about it being cold. We're going to use the ring of fire, which is going to trigger.
কমেন্ট্রি গুলো শুনবি যে খেলার কমেন্ট্রি নকল করে মিউচুয়াল করবি
Skill tree that I don't love. So I will show you.
Defeating the king didn't start.
So if you got the checker tree and you go.
Hey everybody, today we're going to show you how to complete the treasure hunter. Go ahead and knock them out and follow his dialogue, and then he's going to move to a second location. Now the next thing we're going to do is make our way as you run by. Well, the next thing you need to do is kind of put on, as you get near him, you'll start hearing his dialogue, you'll be shivering and
যেহেতু এখানে
in Black Myth Punk, there is a secret ending that you can hold all this in this longer video, so you can enter one secret area only. Area. First one to be found outside the forest, inside the forest of the forest location. I want you to follow the path that I'm showing you here on the screen because it's going to take you to a small mini boss fight that you have to do first to be able to ring this. Thankfully, since this is at the victim user, except this staff has a bunch of fire mechanics around it, and he does attack you from different ranges. So just keep that in mind when you are fighting him. All you need to know, though, is that you need to defeat this guy, and when you do this interactable, that's good. All you need to know is that you've completed one of 3, and you can now progress through. Now, this spell will be much easier to come across, because you'll see what I'm talking about. There's the action, and also some of the snakes to shoot poison. not one of my favorite boss fights. Even another little tonic with another with the same exact idea as reach the bell, you're gonna have a cutscene, and then leaving the next section, beat another mini boss. This boss fights, they start talking about the boss fights, in my opinion, in chapter 1, so I won't say much. One, they start talking about the bells the very first time since you fight. Even though it took me a couple tries. After you defeat the White Plateau, we're going to start to defeat automatically. It's like another defeat these 12 enemies. So once you go through and complete this secret area, let's move on. From here, it's a literal straight shot past the just sitting around in which are items that need plants. It just looks like a lily pad, very. And the final item is a soap boost. You just mainly need to get to one particular corner in this small village that's going to have a glowing pot that is glowing gold that is going to have the silver inside of it. Very simple variation that you've already been going to ensure that you make your way up the stairs, and before you go past where you can notice on your person you dialogue after you give, then ask you to find this piece of gold and then meet him where you first play on in chapter 2. You can then come across the King of Flowing Sands and the second Prince of Flowing Sands, which wanted to here in a lot harder, but if you defeat them, it makes it that much easier. First and then the second Prince is still something that you can throw down to summon this guy. Make our way back to the boss fight with him. Don't worry, fighting is where you guys need to go. Enjoy it for yourself. Just know that once again, simply defeat them. Very thankfully is showing you because this is where you're going to be playing in the background. At this point, this NPC is going to start that treasure hunt. The quest line, because this is the treasure hunter that you're looking for. All you have to do is walk the treasure. All you have to do is exhaust some dialogue and move on to the next location, which thankfully is only a little bit farther into chapter 3. Progress the chapter until you come across the Valley of Ecstasy Towers of Normal location. From here, it's a very short walk because you're going to actually hear the treasure hunter from this fast travel point shivering in the cold. Now, at this point, if you don't have the Rainbow Fire spell equipped, I highly recommend that you do because it is necessary for this next step of this quest line. All you have to do is find the treasure hunter and use the fire spell in front of him. This will be a short cutscene that will actually have the treasure hunter walking into this ring of fire to give you a do this to exhaust this dialogue once again to help move on to the next step of this particular quest line. For the next step, we're going to backtrack a little bit more. Of course, once you pray for this next step up, all you have to do is exhaust it. Not to do at this point is defeat those different.
মানে নর্থ শোর অফ বিটার লেকেই দাঁড়িয়ে আছে এখন।
Say, why is there nothing but Yaoguais in this so-called Buddha's realm? Can I look to you to save me again, sir, if they come back? Green without, round and sweet. Red, where can I find something like that in this frozen land? Green without, where can I...
ও এখানে কেন দাঁড়িয়েছে বুঝলাম না।
Green without, round and sweet. Red within, a summer treat.
ওর কিন্তু
Where
চলে
can I
যাওয়ার
find
কথা।
something like that in this frozen land?
কোথায় চলে যাওয়ার কথা দেখাচ্ছি তোমায়, ও যাচ্ছে না কিন্তু ওখান থেকে।
Enemies and then talk to the guy that you just saved. Interacting with this NPC is going to start that treasure hunter quest line. This is the treasure hunter that you're looking for. All you have to do is exhaust some dialogue and move on to the next location, which thankfully is only a little bit farther into chapter 3. Progress the chapter until you come across the Valley of Ecstasy Towers of Karma location. From here is a very short walk because you're going to actually hear
টাওয়ার্স
the
অফ
treasure
কার্মা
hunter
থেকে
on
নেমে
this
ডান
path
দিকে ওর
travel,
বসার কথা, ও
shivering
তো
in the
আসেইনি।
cold. Now at this point, if you don't have the Ring of Fire spell equipped, I highly recommend that you do because it is necessary for this next step of this quest. All you have to do is find the treasure hunter and use the Ring of Fire spell in front of him. This will cue a short cutscene that will actually have the treasure hunter walking into this Ring of Fire to get warm. Of course, once you do this, you want to exhaust this dialogue once again to help move on to the next step of this particular quest. For the next step, you want to backtrack a little bit to the Valley of Ecstasy Forest of Felicity fast travel location. It's going to be a bit of a long side they need to jump down. I think it's best that you possibly can.
I would be dead if it weren't for you.
আর্ল্যাংকে আগে মারতে হবে, আর্ল্যাংকে মারা হয়নি তো, আর্ল্যাং তো মেইন শয়তান।
I heard that Buddha planted watermelons here hundreds of years ago. One bite, grant. Yet, when the cold... there's no way. Someone once saw a chubby boy. He rushed it, but suddenly bewildered, This story may offer a clue for my treasure hunt. Maybe the watermelons were planted up. Don't let me keep you. I will leave by myself. This story, maybe the... Don't let me keep you, sir. I will leave by myself when...
Next step, you want to backtrack a little bit to the Valley of Ecstasy Forest of Felicity fast travel location. It's going to be a bit of a long run to the actual cliffside they need to jump down, so follow the pathing as best as you possibly can, dodging all the different enemies.
উপরে আসি।
What's for the next time? They needed something. Well, next time you go back, you're a little bit effective before something. Be a bit of a long one. Next time you go back, you're a little bit effective. Be a bit of a long one. To the actual flip side, they needed. What's the next step you go back? Just a little bit effective before something. Let's be a bit of a long one. Why they needed something. All of that. And all the different enemies people are which I find very annoying. They end up coming across a wide variety of spirit and some many
Time and again I tested you, and I saw nothing but gullible goodness. Our brother does misjudge as well. It requires no effort to trick you.
কত বাকি আছে তিন
You
চারটে
will
এগুলো
never
সিক্রেট
be
বস
the
যেমন
destined one. Let me help you end your sorry life.
স্কিপ করা যায় তো না না জানি না জানি না
Foolhardy, nothing more. I've done as our brother asked. Till we meet again.
Your faith has led you here. Rest easy. You won't find those noisy chantings and pain screamings here. A nice, ripe melon. Want a bite? It's better than you think. Sun Wukong used it to trick that disciple of mine. Come. Come closer. Now you've found this place, I'll teach you a trick neither of them knows. Your hand. Spellbinder. It hurts no foe but binds yourself. You'll come to understand its use. An old friend of Sun Wukong came to me, wanting some peace. I led him to the Great Pagoda. Have you paid him a visit? They say you are the destined one. But if destiny is set, what difference do our actions make?
Now, getting to this particular boss is going to take you a very long pathing, so do you those that don't already have it, make sure, again, you follow this pathing. You're going to come across a lot of different enemies. I highly recommend just running past them, because at the end of this, you will see that there really is a lot of different enemies that are going to be attacking you along this path. Now, even though there are a lot of them, they aren't all that difficult to defeat, outside of maybe one or two that might give you a little bit of trouble if you're not caught up level-wise or material-wise to have the good enough armor to deal with the heavy attacks that they're throwing at you. Once you get to this small pond with a meditation point, you know you are very close to one, the second rest point, the webbed hollow pool of shattered jade location, and also very close to the boss that we're looking for. From this travel point, you're going to see a hill with a bunch of cocoons on it. This is where you're going to need to go. Simply run back to the Venom Day of Wisdom.
until you go through another step further up the mountain. You want to take the left path. This path is going to very clearly open up, be your entrance into that secret area that we're talking about and going for inside of Chapter 4. Thankfully, going into this area isn't a one-way trip, just like all the other secret areas. As soon as you enter and find a rest point, you can travel. And of course, you're going to be greeted by the Venom Daewis. All you have to do is be your entrance into that secret, and of course, you're going to be greeted by the Venom Daewis. All you have to do at this point is defeat him. Once you do defeat him, he's actually going to point you to a very specific mural on a wall. As you probably guessed at this point, this is going to be your entrance into the point. You can travel back to a secret area, but that is not one of the requirements to actually get the secret ending, just completing this area itself. So now that you have gone through and actually completed this secret area in Chapter 4, let's move on to the final secret area inside of Chapter 5. As soon as you enter into this level, you're going to come across the Woods of Ember Ashen Pass 1. It's going to be your very first fast travel location. Now from this location, you obviously just want to progress the level like you normally would until you come across this big area where there's a bunch of people fighting, and you're going to quickly come across a hill where you see the pale-back stalwart fighting an enemy. All you have to do is defeat him in one-on-one combat, or just defeat him in combat in general, to have him stop fighting long enough to actually have a conversation with you. If you can't interact with him right away after you do defeat him, make sure all the other enemies on this lower area of this first section allow you to get into a very specific cave. The card that you can jump onto and get behind this card though, where you're actually talking to. Now this very first card is very easy to defeat. There's also to get the height of Ember Woods of being a pair of doors. Once you defeat the boss, you can now go through these doors. Once you're through these doors, you're very quickly going to be attacked by the next card that we're looking for. Now there's two ways to actually get down to this card. One is actually going through a whole cave system, defeating a bunch of enemies and going the long way. Or if you have enough health, you can actually jump off the bridge right in front of the card. Either way, it's up to you. Move on to the third location. You can find the third card in the Furnace Valley. More specifically, the easiest way to look at this as a defeated card, and let's move on to the fourth. Is to defeat that boss, what you have to do anyway to progress on the mess, because it's right inside of the card is part of a much longer quest. The easiest way to look at this particular card is that it is already defeated. You don't have to do anything. Though the person that's inside of the card is part of a much longer quest line, which I'll have a video on as soon as I can publish it. But again, count this as a defeated card, and let's move on to the fourth location. Now, this fourth location is actually impossible to miss because it's right after you go through a main boss battle inside of this chapter. So all you have to do is defeat that boss, what you have to do anyway to progress this chapter, and go up the hill to find the Crimson and Silver Cart. Once again, this cart is not going to be all that difficult, though he is going to be a little bit stronger than the is defeat that boss, what you have to do anyway to pull the miss, but move on to the third location. You can find the third cart in the Furnace Valley. More specifically the Valley entrance fast travel point. Now, something to make mention is that you don't actually need to fight this particular cart. It's actually already going to be defeated. I'm including it here to move on to the third location. You can find the third cart in the Furnace Valley, more specifically the Valley entrance fast travel. Now, something to make mention is that you actually need to fight this particular card. It's actually already going to be defeated. I'm including it here so you don't get confused that this is one of the 5 that you need to fight. So the easiest way to look at this particular card is that it is already defeated. You don't have to do anything. Though the person that's inside of the card is part of a much longer. It's like we'll have a video on as soon as I can publish. But again, this is a defeated card. Let's move on. Now, this fourth location is actually...
ठीक है मैम, उसका मेल आईडी और पासवर्ड आप एक बार ले लीजिए।
inside of the cart is part of a much longer quest line. The easiest way to look at this particular cart is that it is already defeated. You don't have to do anything. So the person that's inside of the cart is part of a much longer quest line. The easiest way to look at this particular cart is
मैम मेल आईडी पासवर्ड और यूनिवर्सिटी का लॉगिन आईडी पासवर्ड डिफरेंट है। उसका पर्सनल मेल आईडी जो यूनिवर्सिटी से दिया गया है जिससे वो सुपरवाइजर के साथ कनेक्ट करता है, वो एक बार मुझे भेजिए आपके पास अगर है। मैम मेल आईडी पासवर्ड और यूनिवर्सिटी का लॉगिन आईडी पासवर्ड डिफरेंट है। दिया गया है जिससे वो सुपरवाइजर के साथ कनेक्ट करता है, वो एक बार मुझे भेजिए आपके पास अगर है।
as travel point. Now, something to make mention is that you don't actually need to fight this particular card. It's actually already going to be defeated. I'm including it here so you don't get confused that this is one of the 5 that you need to fight. So the easiest way to look at this particular card is that it is already defeated. You don't have to move on to be defeated. I'm including it here so you don't get confused that this is one of the 5.